Right now, I'll show you how to design the conceptual model. Okay. As per the requirement, any new requirement is there from the business user. As per that requirement, we can design the model, that is conceptual model. Okay, we can show the conceptual model to the business users as per their requirement in the form of graphical format, diagrammatic format. Sometimes we can design the model, that is conceptual model, in PowerPoint presentation also. Okay, we can give the presentation to the business users in PPT format. Okay, just explain to him what they are expecting, then as per their requirement, how to maintain the data in the database. We can show it in the form of diagrammatic format to the users. Okay, just you can explain to the business users. So if business is happened like this, then how that data is maintained in the database, we can show it in the form model. Okay. So here we can draw the model like this in the diagrammatic format to the business users. We don't want to use any technology. Okay, open proper PowerPoint presentation in that respective slides, design the model like this. It is a conceptual model. As per the requirement, design the model like this. Okay, and explain to the business users how that business is going on, based on the business transactions, how that business, how the transactions are done by the business user through various channels. Once transactions are happened, then how that transactional data was loaded to the respective target table. Here we don't want to involve to design the mobile applications or websites or system application. That is not our part. Okay, our part is how to design the data model to maintain the data came from the various channels. Okay. As a customer, they can choose any channel, available channel, to do some transactions. The transactional data was stored in respective database. We want to store the transactions done by the users and users like customers through mobile applications or websites or system applications or any ATM applications. Okay, the transactional data was stored in one place, that is database. Okay, here if you don't want to lose any kind of transaction done by the customers, if you want to keep the transactions in systematically in the database level, then we can design the data model like this. For example, as a customer, they can place an order or they can send a request to get their service or to get their products. From which country? From which country he placed an order. The country's information is saved in the country's table. Actually, already data available. Some reference data already available in the country's table. Okay, this data was not inserted at the time of transaction done by the customer. It is already available. For example, if you want to do some registration, there is some registration page there. If you want to register for any company through website or through mobile app, it is asking what is your country. You can choose your country from the drop down list. There are list of countries are mentioned. You can choose your country from the drop down list. At a time, only one country. So once you selected country, then we can get in another line, we can get states information. Automatically, states belongs to respective country was displayed. Okay, if you selected particular country, automatically what are the cities are available within that country, that city's information is listed. Next, select your city. Once you selected your city, then your address is not displayed. There is no default address is mentioned within that web page. Manually can enter your address, your details, like what is your first name, middle name, last name, what's your address, address 1, address 2, your postal code, your email ID, your phone number. Those details you need to mention after you selected city. Enter your details and click on submit button. Once you click on submit button, already country's information is available in the country's table. State information is available in the state table. Actually, it is a state. For example, it is state. State information is available in the state table. And the city's information is also available in the city table. Static data, that is static one. That is not dynamic one, means we never update country details, state details, as well as city details. Okay. Sometimes we can add, if new states are formed within that country, add that state details, add them, but don't update existing details. Okay, very rare cases, update state details. If any state name is renamed, then only can update them. Otherwise, no need to update them. Okay. Even though state name is updated, but state ID never updated. Unique indexes. Every database table has one index. Okay. If you define, actually in the conceptual model also, we can call them as these objects also called as entities. In conceptual model point of view also, we can call them as entities. These are also entities. Okay. If there is a state, for example, it is a conceptual model. Sometimes see here, according to client requirement, we need to modify the conceptual model also. We are a data modeling expert. Already you given services to the various clients. You have so much of experience, so much of knowledge on data modeling. Okay, then you can get new clients to get your service for their needs, for their data modeling needs. Okay, here you are explaining some data models. If it is a already running project, even though you got new client with a new requirement, maybe for that respective requirement, you already provided services to the other clients also. Same kind of a requirement is came previously. Okay, we got same kind of requirement from the existing client. Okay, for that client, already you provided services to design the data model for their business transaction needs. The same requirement we got from the another client, but there are some changes are needed according to that new requirement. That means we can add new entities within that respective conceptual model. Previously, we have location. Right now here in this conceptual model, we are applying some changes like country, state, and here it is city. The city. Okay, next. Okay, actually see here in the conceptual model, we don't want to give any kind of, see here, the countries table, I was not added any kind of columns. The countries table, state table. This is just conceptual model only. No need to add any kind of attributes within that respective entities in the conceptual model. It is just concept only. So no need to enter whole structure of the each block added in the concept in this conceptual model. These are the blocks. In each block, just you can give the title of the object is enough. Okay, block name is enough. So we don't want to enter all attributes within that respective conceptual model. Okay, just you can explain enough. Okay, no need to enter all the columns in each block added within this conceptual model. The country, state, city, customer. Customer place an order to purchase the products, or customer send a request to get their service. That orders or request information is available in the orders table. Okay. Here as a customer, we can choose any channel at any point of time. Sometimes we can place an order or to send a request to get their service through mobile applications. If any service-based company is there, they are providing services to the customers through mobile apps. Okay, then download their mobile app, okay, in your smartphone and register for that respective company through that mobile app with your registered mobile number and send your request to get service from that respective company. Okay, or sometimes say channels means either mobiles or websites or system applications, or sometimes physical visit also. Sometimes they can provide the service on doorstep also, physical visit, not only online. Okay, here they can send their respective team to provide the service at doorstep also. So that is the information is available in the channels table. There is a channel class. We can categorize the channels into different classes. Channel class, channels, Through the channels, we can get the orders. Orders are requests placed by the customer. That order related details or request related details are available in the details. In this block, we need to maintain order details or service details. Okay, we can get the request for the service. The details are available in the service request. Details are available in the, sometimes the same company providing different types of services. The number of services. If you need more than one services from the same company, then you can send a request to get more services. That entire service details are available in the service details table. Or sometimes you can place an order to purchase a different kind of products. That entire product details are available in the order details table. Okay, here we can see here this is the products table or service table. And this is the product line and service line. Okay, through different ways, we can get the services that are provided by the respective company, services or products. Okay, they can deliver the products through different channels. Okay, they can deliver the products. The details are available in the product line or service line. In this manner, we can explain the entire model. This is one concept, one requirement. As for the requirement, we can design the model like this, data model like this. This is an entity relational model. The entity relational model is designed for one concept. That's why it is a conceptual model. So to design the conceptual model, we need to choose any technology. It's not necessary. Just you can explain how that business is done by the respective client through various business channels, various transactional channels. Okay, through the channels they can get the transactions, different kind of transactions through different channels done by the respective customers. Okay, that transactions are saved in the database like this only. In this order, we can define the relation between the various tables available in the model. Actually, modeling means to convert business requirements into technical format. Modeling means to convert business requirements into technical structures. That is called modeling. There are two types of modeling. One modeling is convert business requirements into technical format. That is one modeling. Second modeling is convert a technical format into business user required format. Okay, functional to technical, technical to functional. Okay. Initially, we can get the requirements that are purely functional. Okay, we can show that business requirements that are available purely functional into technical format. That is called as modeling. Technically design the models like this. This is conceptual model. To design the conceptual model, we don't want to use any technology. We don't want to choose any data modeling technology to design the conceptual models like this. Okay, just you can design the model and explain this model. You can give the presentation on this model to the respective client. If client is satisfied, if you got the client approval to continue your work to design the next models like logical model, physical model, then what we need to do, we can choose one technology. We can choose any one of the data modeling technologies. Best one is Erwin data modeling technology, because so many companies are using Erwin data modeling technology for their data modeling needs, either OLTP database or OLAP. Actually, see here, what is the conceptual model design? This conceptual model is for OLTP system, not for OLAP system. For OLAP system point of view, design the data model like this. These are called as entity relational models. Okay, this is a data model designed for OLAP system, that is data warehousing. For data warehousing, design the data models like this for data warehousing. These are called dimension models. The OLTP point of view, ER models, OLAP point of dimension models. Okay, sometimes business users are having some requirements related to their OLTP needs, data warehousing needs. Okay, then as an as a data modeler, what we need to do, we can design the data models for their data warehouse. Okay, in the form of dimension models. Data model design for the data warehouse comes under dimension models. What kind of the dimension models are there? There are three types of dimension models. ER modeling point of view, we don't have different types in ER model. The ER model is purely normalized. Entity relation models are purely normalized. Normalization means, see here, split the relational data and maintain in multiple tables. That is called a normalization. To overcome the redundancy. In the OLTP database, we can overcome the redundancy. Okay, we can overcome the redundancy. To avoid the redundancy, then you can go for normalization. These are the normalized sources here. So here normalization means split the relational data and maintain in multiple tables. That is normalization. Due to normalization, redundancy is reduced, but query complexity is increased with normalization. Okay, but we don't need to worry about the query complexity for OLTP database. The OLTP database is designed for according to end user convenience. According to customer convenience, OLTP systems are constructed. Okay, customer point of view, we don't need to worry about the query complexity. Okay. Okay, query complexity. Here, query complexity is increased. If we want to analyze the data available in the OLTP database, then we can write a complex query to read the data available in multiple tables. Then query complexity is increased. But if you want to process only one record at a time, through OLTP systems, only one record is processed at a time, not multiple records. Okay, only one record is processed. Even though if you are paying amount at a time for that respective order or respective service, but it will be processed multiple times. If you need multiple services from the same client, same company, if you need multiple services, at a time you can pay the whole amount for all services. But your request is processed multiple times. At a time, only one record is processed through OLTP systems, only one record, not multiple records. Or if you purchase multiple items from Amazon company, if you are trying to purchase from Amazon e-commerce company, multiple products, for example, one laptop, one mouse, one keyboard, one bag, totally 4 items. If you are purchasing 4 items, for that, for 4 items at a time, you can pay the amount. You can pay the amount within a single shot for all items, but your order is processed 4 times. Okay, your order request is processed 4 times, means 4 transactions. So one is for laptop, second one is for keyboard, third one is for mouse, and the fourth one is for bag. Okay, 4 transactions are happened for that respective order. 4 transactions means 4 records. One by one, that records are processed. Okay, you can get the email alert also. How that order is processed, that email alert we can get, or SMS alert we can get from that respective company. Your order is processed for laptop, that is one mail. Your order is processed for mobile, sorry, for mouse, that is another email alert we can get for mouse. For keyboard, one more alert. For bag, one more alert. In that manner, you can get the multiple SMS alerts, multiple email alerts, because your order is split into 4 times, four transactions. Okay, 4 times your order is processed for that 4 items in 4 transactions. That means at a time only one record is processed. That's why we no need to worry about the performance at OLTP level. Okay, even in the ATM also, at a time we need to do only one transaction in ATM machine. It is impossible to do multiple transactions. We can draw the amount, or we can deposit, we can transfer the amount from one debit card to another debit card. Sometimes you can pay the bills also. Any kind of phone bills or electricity bills you can pay, or water bills you can pay through ATM machines also if available. But at a time we need to do only one transaction, not multiple transactions. That's why we no need to worry about the query complexity at OLTP level. Okay. So this is the data model is designed for OLTP systems, OLTP database. It is a conceptual model. Okay, it's not a logical model, or it's not a physical model. It is just conceptual model only. Okay, here itself, we can modify a number of times until meet the business requirement, what business users are expecting. Based on that business user expectation, we can modify this model again and again. Once client is satisfied, then only can start to design the logical models using any one of the data modeling technology. So this is for OLTP, this is for OLAP, data warehouse. These are called as dimension models. See, this is the fact table. This fact table surrounded by the multiple dimension tables. Okay. Here in this, this is the dimension model is denormalized. ER model is normalized. Dimension model is denormalized. In this dimension model, dimension tables are denormalized and the fact table is normalized. Okay, it is a normalized fact table. These are all denormalized fact tables. In the warehouse point of view, redundancy is increased in dimension tables. Redundancy will be increased in the dimension tables in warehouse. But performance point of view, we no need to worry about the redundancy. Redundancy increased in the dimension tables. So due to redundancy, we need to allocate more memory. More memory occupied by the redundant data available in dimension tables. Okay, redundant data occupies extra memory, but you don't need to worry about extra memory occupied by the redundant data available in the dimension tables. Always we need to focus on performance only. Okay, this schema is called as, actually this dimension model is also called star schema. There are three types of dimension models are available in data warehouse: star schema, snowflake schema, galaxy schema. Okay. If it is a new requirement, then how to design the logical model in our tool, Erwin data modeling tool. Okay. Initially, don't design physical model, design logical model only. If you are a expert, if you don't have that much time to spend to design logical model, physical model separately, then what we need to do, as per the requirement, directly you can try to design the logical physical model. Don't design the physical model, design the logical physical. There is an option is available: logical, physical, logical, physical. Three options are available. Go for logical physical. Design the logical model first, immediately convert that logical model into, switch from logical model to physical model. Okay, that facility is available. Okay. If it is a new requirement, then what we need to do, after conceptual model is completed, go for logical model. After logical model completed, go for physical model. After physical model completed, here while designing the physical model, we need to choose the target database type also. Assume here our target database is Oracle database is our target database. With Oracle database is a user-oriented system. The client allocates the space in the Oracle database as a user. Then what we need to do, as a data modeler, design the new data model here and forward that data model to the respective location, respective user available in the Oracle database using forward engineering. First of all, generate the schema for the data model designed here, that to physical model. Only for physical model, you can generate the schema and execute that schema. What is schema? Schema means collection of the database objects called as one schema. Generate the schema for the data model designed in the Erwin data modeling tool. Then execute that schema content. Schema means collection of the database objects. For that objects, here one schema generated. Within the schema, we have table structures. The table structures are available. Create table, and that is the information is available within that respective schema. Then execute it, generate and execute it. Once that schema got executed, then what are the tables are available in the data model? For all tables, a script generated, SQL script. Schema generation means script is generated for, SQL script is generated for all tables available in the model. So that script is executed in the target database. Okay. So once script is executed in the target database, then that target available for the various business requirements. Okay, people who are working on various applications, what they can do, they can connect into that respective user has some set of tables that are forwarded from our technology. Okay. Let's see, this is the logical and physical. Now what we need to do, if you want to design a new data model, if it is a logical model, whether it is a year model or dimension model. For dimension modeling point of view, no need to go for logical model. Okay, we can go for logical model only for ER models, entity relation models that are designed for OLTP systems, not for OLAP systems. For OLAP system point of view, directly you can go for physical model only. No need to go for logical model. But there are no restrictions. For OLAP database also, design the logical models if needed. But most of the times we don't want to go for logical models. Directly go for physical models only. Okay. We want to create a new one. Click on new. Here there are two options are available: logical, physical, and logical, physical. By default, logical selected. We want to create a blank logical model. Here we don't want to design. Sorry, we don't want to select any database here. Target database. We selected physical model. So here we need to select the target database as well as version of that respective target database you selected. Logical physical means, see here, for logical physical, compulsory select target database and version also. Okay, most of the times what we need to do, create logical model, convert that logical model into physical model immediately. Or in case if you created logical model, there is no chance to convert logical model into physical model. If you created physical model, there is no chance to convert physical model into logical model. It is impossible. If you create a logical model, then what we need to do, if we want to create a physical model again, based on the logical model, design the physical model. Okay, there is no chance to convert a logical model physical model. That facility is not available here. So that's why what we need to do as a data modeling expert, go for logical and physical. We selected logical and physical. See here, first of all, select the target database type. Here our target database type is Oracle. Different databases are there. Use target database type, that is Oracle, and version also. Yeah, at present it is supporting 10th and 11th version only. Okay, actual 12th version is also there. At present it is not supporting 12th version, but designing point of modeling point of view, there is no difference between version to version. No difference is there. Designing point of view, model designing point of view. Okay, click on OK. The logical model has set of entities, and each entity has a set of attributes, and there, we can define the relationship between the respective entities because it is an entity relational model. Entity relational model has set of entities and relationship between the entities, and also each entity is defined with a set of attributes also. If you want to describe an entity, we need set of attributes. We need to describe it. Okay. There are different types of the relations are there here: identifying relationship, non-identifying relationship, and many-to-many relationship. Okay, identifying, non-identifying is fine, but many-to-many relationship is just optional. If you want to explain your data model with a many-to-many relationship, then we can apply it, but it is physically not existed. Okay, here many-to-many relationship is different. There are different types of relations are there. Forget about this non-identifying and identifying or many-to-many relationship. There are different types of relations are like unary, binary, ternary, and many-to-many. These are the different types of relations are there. Okay, unary relationship means you can define primary key of the table as a foreign key and another column available in the same table. That is called a unary relationship. I'll show you in Informatica. I'm showing. There is an HR user available in the, there is one HR user available in the Oracle database. The name of the user is HR. Here we are working with in Informatica Power Center. We are working with existing data models only. The data models are already designed by the data modeler using Irwin data modeling tool. Here, if any minor, if you designed one data model and if you submitted the data model using forward engineering to the database, if business user needs any minor changes, we can do that minor changes in the database itself. We don't want to do it in the our technology. We don't want to apply the changes, minor changes in our technology again. It is a expensive task. Okay. See here, it is a primary key. Employee is a primary key, and that is defined as foreign key and manager ID column available in the same time. This is called a owner relationship. It is called a owner relationship. Okay. And a binary relationship means I'm adding jobs table here. It is called as binary relationship. See here in the jobs table, job ID is the primary key. Okay, these are called as columns. The database point of physical database point of view, tables and columns, and these are relations. Here it is. Job ID is the primary key in the jobs table, and it defined as foreign key and job ID available in the employees table. This is called binary. Binary means two. If you define relationship between two tables, that is called as binary relationship. Okay. Next. Here many-to-many relationship means I'm importing another table. Just I'm showing how that relations are defined between the existing data models. You can try to understand the relations are defined on existing data models available in the database like this. In our technology also, using reverse engineering, connect to the database and import existing data model to our environment and read these relations carefully. Also, you can find out here, this is the department table. It has primary key and it is defined as foreign key and department data available in the employees table. And at this time, it is a primary key and is defined as a foreign key and manager ID available in the department table, vice versa. We have two tables, table 1, table 2. The primary key of the table 1 is defined as foreign key and table 2, and additional primary key of the table is defined as foreign key and table 1 again. This is called as many-to-many relationship. This is unary relationship. This is binary relationship. This is many-to-many relationship. Okay, here in the data modeling point of view, okay, identifying relationship, non-identifying relationship, and many-to-many relationship is also there. When we can go for non-identifying relationship, most of the times, if you design data model that is purely normalized in nature. Okay, here data models are designed. Data models are designed for world-type database are purely normalized. If you design data models that are normalized in nature, then better to go for non-identifying relationship. Okay, if it is a data warehouse, if you design data models for data warehouse, then you can go for identifying relationship, because in the data warehouse we have star schema, snowflake schema, galaxy schema. That's why better to go for identifying relationship for data warehouse, whereas for world type database, go for non-identifying relationship. The non-identifying relationship means the primary key of the table, parent table is defined as foreign key and non-key section. Non-key section of the child table. If it is an identifying relationship, then primary key of the parent table is defined as foreign key and key section of the child table. Okay, here with identifying relationship, it is a normalized data source. If it is here we design data model, if it is normalized in nature, then if you apply relationship between the tables, normalized tables available in our current data model, what happened with identifying relationship? Unbalanced hierarchies or ragged hierarchies. We can call them as unbalanced hierarchies or ragged hierarchies are established between the tables if it is identifying. With the non-identifying relationship, balanced hierarchies. We can set the balanced hierarchies between tables with non-identifying relationship only. Whereas with identifying relationship, we can get unbalanced hierarchies, also called as ragged hierarchies. Unbalanced hierarchies are also called ragged hierarchies. This is an entity. Right now we are in a logical one, a blank logical model. Here I am showing how to create an entity. So first of all, what we need to do, we can provide entity name. It is students, for example. Entity name is students. If you want to go to key section, key attribute section, click on tab. When we click on tab, it goes to key section, key attribute section, and provided the name is like a std_id. Only underscore, no hyphens or dashes or spaces. Next, if you want to go to non-key section, again click on tab and enter the name, student name. Okay. Next, class ID. If you want to enter one more attribute in the same section, then click on enter button, class ID. Okay. Like this. And this is one entity. Now we can add another entity. It is student marks. Okay. Here, what we need to do here, student marks. Here in this can provide one. Actually, it is not necessary. Actually, here in this student marks, we don't want to enter anything in the key section. It's not necessary. Okay. Or if you want to give your own, any ID is needed, any sequence ID is needed for the student marks also, like serial number, then we can provide it. Okay, S_NV. It is a key attribute. Serial number, something. Okay. Or exam code. Provide exam code here. Exam code. Next, here subject name. Max marks and marks scored. How many number of marks are scored by the respective student? Yeah. Now it is students, it is one entity, and the student marks another entity. Here, this is the identifying relationship. If you define identifying relationship between these two tables, first we select identifying relationship from the toolbar. First place the cursor on student table, next place the cursor on child table. See where it was added, it is added in the key section. Okay. Now, if you added identifying relationship, if you want to define an relationship between two tables with a non-identifying relationship, like this, where it was added, it is added in the non-key attribute section of the student marks, like this. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Or according to conceptual model, this is country table. Country table has the country ID. Okay. And in the next section, add country name. Okay. Next one is after country, state is there. State ID. Always see here, use tab only. When you can click on tab key available on the keyboard, it goes to next section. State name. Okay. Next, create city. City ID. Every entity has its own attributes. City name. Next, I'm creating another one. Customer. Okay, customer underscore ID. Next, customer underscore name. Okay. Here, totally it is fourth normal form because there are 4 normalized tables. That's why it is called a fourth normal form. All are relational tables. If it is an identifying relationship, how established a relationship? See here. Okay, it is defined on foreign key, defined on state key section of the state. Next, if you define, clearly can observe here. State table is a state table is a parent table for city. Okay, that's why state is defined as foreign key. But you can see here, country ID is also defined as a foreign key on city table, key section of the city table. It is migrated to the city via state table. Again, if you define a relationship with identifying relationships, see here what happened here. The country ID is defined as foreign key in state table, city table, as well as customer table also. At the same time, state ID is defined as foreign key in city table as well as customer table also. This is called as with the identifying relationship, we can get the unbalanced hierarchies. These hierarchies are also called unbalanced hierarchies or ragged hierarchies. Okay. That's why what we need to do here in this kind of the scenarios, better to go for a non-identifying relationship. Okay. These are called as balanced hierarchies. If you define the hierarchies like this, relations like this, these are called as balanced hierarchies. So first of all, place the cursor on parent table. Next, place the cursor on child table. Then relationship is established like this. This is called as these kind of the relations are called as balanced hierarchies. With non-identifying relationship only, we can get balanced hierarchies. With identifying relationship, we can get unbalanced hierarchies. In some scenarios, we can go for unbalanced hierarchies also, because sometimes if you want to read the data from countries and customers, no need to read the data from state and city. Then we can go for, yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. So I just wanted to check about the foreign keys. So you are saying like country in the country ID and country, state, city, and the customer. Like if we are connecting with the many to many connections, right?
Not many to many, one to many only. Everything
one
is
to
one
many.
to many. Yes.
Okay. So the country, if it is connected to the state, then the country ID is the foreign key for it.
This is the country FK in bracket foreign key. It is primary key. Yes.
Yeah, that's what, like how it will come, like the primary key became the foreign key for the other one.
Just by using these relations, I am defining
Okay.
with these relations. When we can place the cursor state table, automatically